Hello, everybody. My name is Diego Di Tommaso, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Augmented Reality. So today, I would like to tell you about what Over is, and especially what is our big vision about creating the largest 3D map of the world based on Web3. So let's dig into that. So first of all, what is Over? So Over is a fusion between the physical and the virtual world that is enabled by what we call geolocalized AR. So AR contents that are contextualized in specific locations. It's a place where people can own digital assets, play, build, meet, and also earn, because everything is powered by Web3. So the assets are NFTs, the land domains are NFTs, and I will go more deeply into that in the presentation. And finally, to us, really AR is a new way to interact with information. And we really believe that we will move from a 2D screen to an augmented version of our physical world. And again, just to reiterate on this concept, we really think that the future is spatial computing. I guess that's also all of us, we saw what Google presented with the Vision Pro, and this switch between a new platform of human-computer interface. So we will live in a future where, the 2D contents that we see on the internet right now, or on the metaverses, let's call it like that, would really fuse with our visual field. And again, there's some hints already on how powerful this concept is, because in the US, if we think about the people that experience AR through smartphones at the moment, are much more, or almost the double of the people that actually use a VR headset. And of course, VR will also be big, but the fact that our brain in some way is wired to process 3D data in space really create a very low friction path to adopt AR. And of course, market researchers for what they're worth expect great growth, like 40% per year in the next 4 years. So really, that's the reason why we decided since 2018 to really work deeply in this direction. And you might ask, yes, AR is cool. I heard about that. I saw some use cases here and there, but why I don't see it pervasively around me yet? And there is two main reasons for that. One, of course, is the lack of smart glasses right now. So we have the smartphone that still gives a good experience, but still there is another big thing that we need, a big bottleneck that we need to overcome. So when we do geolocalized AR, and this is the future of AR, so AR that is contextualized to locations, is not just an AR asset that is thrown out there. We need that the system understands the world around. And so you need really to merge seamlessly the contents. And so the easy way to do geolocalized AR is just using GPS. But with GPS, you get the kind of the result that you see in these slides. So the contents are not really merged in the right way, because you need to think that GPS has like 6 meters error when you are outdoor, and indoor basically doesn't work. So if the system relies on GPS in order to locate assets in space, basically this future that we imagine cannot happen. And so that's because of that we built on Over, we built this system that doesn't rely anymore on GPS, but relies on computer vision to actually locate assets in space. And in order to do that, there is a prerequisite. The prerequisite is that place needs to be mapped. And mapped means that people need to go in locations and take pictures of this area. So just to give you an idea of what is geolocalized AR that is contextualized, you can see these few examples of some use cases that were built on Over. So here you can see that, for example, the bored ape, knows that there's a building there, will climb it, and then will go over that. And also with the assets on Sandbox, you can see that Sebastian is climbing the building because the system knows that there is a building there, there are some occlusions and so on. So this is what we think is the future of AR, and this is the direction we are working on. And of course, by the way, also these videos clearly demonstrate another very important proposition of the open metaverses, the fact that assets from different metaverses can coexist together
thanks to the NFT standard. And I think also this is a killer feature of the Web3 metaverses that sometimes a little bit overseen. And yeah, but coming back to the solution, so the way it works is that the community can go in locations and take out their phones. 3 to 5 minutes of pictures can generate this 3D point cloud that you see here, that basically is the 3D structure of the location. So this 3D structure has two kind of use cases. So one is for the creator. He will know where things are in places, and so he can edit it accordingly. And also in the backend, our system use all of these points that you see to actually relocate correctly assets in space. And the activity to do this kind of mapping is this is a map that I did like 6 months ago. It takes 3 to 5 minutes. So it's a very quick activity to map one of our lands. So moving on, that's not only that. It's not only about relocalization. There's something more that we can do with this data. So lately, in the last, I would say, 6 to 12 months, very powerful AI algorithms were released that allows to recreate a location from few pictures. Maybe you heard about NERF, neural radiant fields, or Gaussian splatting. The technology is progressing very fast. But what that means is that once we map a location, not only we can do very precise AR content over there, but we can also explore that location remotely. And if you think about that, it's a very interesting proposition, because basically it's merging what is our idea of AR and what is our idea of VR. So a place can be augmented, and so when you're there in reality, you can see amazing AR experiences. But if you're not in the location, you can still explore that location remotely and maybe see also the AR experience that would be there. So really, because, again, if you think about AR, one of the limitations of this geolocalized AR is that it's local. So VR has a very nice proposition. There's no locality. So you can access a place from everywhere. While with geolocalized AR, you need to be in the location. Well, by creating these digital twins, this is not anymore the case. So you can visit places even if you're not there. And again, so the execution of this, because if you think about that, we are thinking, the vision is about mapping the whole world, and it's a crazy idea. Also, how we're going to realize it. So first of all, this activity is realized by a crowd of mappers, that is our users and community members. And basically, as I said before, more smartphone with no LiDAR, so normal smartphones, just taking some pictures, 3 to 5 minutes. Right now, we just launched the project. We have 1,200 people that is testing the system. They generated 18,000 maps in the last 3 months. And another problem that you may come to mind is, okay, but the world is huge. Where are we going to map? We cannot map the whole world. Google does that with satellites. But we don't care about deserts, streets, and whatever. We care about important locations in the world. So how do we know what are the good locations in the world? Well, our platform is based on the sale of lands. So if you buy a land that basically is one-to-one to the physical world, like for example, you buy the land of the Colosseum, then you have publishing rights on that location. You can publish over there. So we have 30,000 people that bought 870,000 locations. And all of these people, when they bought this location, they start thinking, okay, what are the good locations in the world? So we have this collective intelligence. We have this wisdom of the crowds that plots a heat map on the world on what are the good locations. And so those are the locations that we'll be start mapping. And if you go on our website right now, you can check the map and you can see all the incredible maps that have been generated. And in November, we will start with a real incentivization on that, and the goal is to achieve 500,000 of these maps in the next 6 months. So again, this is our moonshot, let's say. So just a comparison with Google Maps. So Google Maps has 1 billion monthly active users. Of course, they have Web 2 business model. In our case, it's a Web 3 business model. When people go and map, they own that data. They own that maps in the form of NFTs. Of course, Google does satellites. We have a crowd of mappers. We have a focus on mapping public and private venues and also indoor that are valuable, so not streets and so on. And again, our main focus is on 3D structure and AR.
And finally, the way you explore our maps is through these neural renders that you saw before, not through the 360 bubbles that you used to see in Google. So it might seem similar, but actually it's very different kind of target that we are going after here. Moving on a little bit more on how our platform is made. So I always like to visualize it like that. So we have three main layers. So one is know your land. So it's the ownership of the land, the publishing rights. So think about the web. In the web, you buy a web domain like Diego.com, let's say, and you decide the content over there. In our case, the world is divided in hexagons of 300 square meters. You buy that hexagon representing, again, the Colosseum, like as I was saying before, and you can publish content over there in space instead of on a website. Then we have the mapping that we've been just talking about, because with the mapping, you can have this precise augmentation of the location, and also you can have this remote exploration of the location. And finally, we have the builder layer, because yes, we have the ownership, we have the precision mapping, but still we need to publish content. So we have two powerful tools to publish in the physical world. So again, on the maps here, there is a little bit comparison with the Decentraland that you are familiar with probably. So the Decentraland has this map of the world that is a fully virtual world. In our case, we have a map of the world that is one-to-one to the physical, just to have like a mental model on that. And regarding the mapping activity, here is a little showcase on what does it mean. So you have this heat map on the floor that guides you on which angles of pictures you need to take. And then you generate this point cloud and the nerve that you was seeing before. And so that is the output of this 5-minute activity that you own. You own this information in the form of an NFT. And finally, as I was mentioning, we have also these tools to publish the content. So we have two kinds of tools. We have one web builder that is for no coders. So you don't need to know nothing about coding. You just drag and drop 3D files or NFTs that you own. You will have the 3D asset or the 2D asset or the video exposed, and you will be able to actually publish it in space. And while if you are a Unity developer, you have a very powerful tool that allows you to create even complex interactions. You can create even games inside of our platform. And also we have a nice blueprint scripting language that allows you also to create very complex interaction in a visual way. Up to date, we have 3,000 onboarded creators that publish something on our layer over the reality. And they published 70,500 experiences up to date. And the nice thing is actually that I would say that even if we now know that we are a kind of in a bear market, and we saw that NFT sales, tokens, and whatever are not performing so well, the activity of the creators, we didn't see any flexion on that. So the builders are really still there, and I think not only on Over, but also in the other metaverses. So it's very nice to see the resilience of this group of people, even inside of this long bear market. And finally, again, just to have some positive attitude, given the moment of the market, the traction in the last 12 months has been quite impressive. So we have 1 million registered users. The first use case that we had was a game similar to Pokemon Go. That was the easiest way to explain what we did. So, maybe you don't know about AR, or you don't know exactly what it is, but maybe you remember Pokemon Go. So that was a huge success. We sent people to 1.6 million locations to collect our tokens and NFTs from other projects we collaborated with. We had under 50,000 downloads. The lens that we sold, I was mentioning, 870,000. That is an incredible knowledge about what are the good locations in the world. We are now, starting growing a little bit, 35 employees, not anymore, just 5 in a garage. And as I was mentioning, in the last 5 months since we launched this mapping, this beta mapping program, we're generating 18,000 of these maps. And just a final little view, again, on what is the competitive landscape. Who else is building in this space? So we see that this is just also to give you an idea on what are the different nuances of this AR landscape. So we have AR filters, that if you think about that is Instagram, and then we have spatial computing, that is this augmentation of the physical world. So in most of the people working in this space is in Web2. So we have ARCore, that is Google, we have Azure, we have Lightship, that is Niantic, and with Oki Labs, that is kind of in Web3. While on the other side, we have Over, of course, that is working in the directions, and Lens Studio, that is Snapchat. And so the big difference also in the way we go to the market is that ARCore, Azure, Lightship, and Oki are more dev-oriented. So you need to build your own app to actually create these AR experiences, while like Lens Studios and us, we are more in an end-to-end solution. So a creator just need to upload his great creations, and they will immediately publish in an app with an ecosystem that is already there. So I think I'm done with the presentation, and thanks for listening to me. If you have any questions, I'm really happy to answer you.